Hello guys, welcome. It's your boy Clover.
2 months ago, I turned my Miniflat into a Makerspace. I recorded myself talking to the camera, I recorded myself making stuff in front of the camera, and I recorded myself, recording myself. And this happened. But it wasn't all linear. Let me explain. Yesterday, I took some time to not be so productive by taking some dimensions and making a 3D model of my Miniflat. Or at least what it looked like before I turned it into a place for trying out the things I enjoyed, making, learning, and sharing. By the way, I'm doing this because, shockingly enough, after scrolling through my phone for a while, I realized that I do not actually have images and videos of how my Miniflat used to look like before I turned it into a makerspace. I'm putting this together on Fusion 360, by the way. And no, I did not have to design every single piece of furniture here myself. Found some of the items like this red Asus laptop on GrabCard, which was exactly the computer model I had at the time. I'll leave a link in the description if you want to check out GrabCard. I may have no frame of reference, but I still think 100 subs is wild. It felt like yesterday when I hit the create button to upload the gift of the year video. Thank you all for sticking around. You are amazing. Everyone has a unique journey to their first video. Mine went a little something like this. You see, I was going to create a maker channel with not just this type of making, but these as well. I dedicated this corner to be the corner where I get my hands dirty. It was no easy feat. It was my first real woodwork project. I needed a table I could attach to my old student cupboard to have a huge work table to place equipment on and take cool shots like this. I designed it with detailed dimensions and was gonna make it foldable to close it up when I have guests over. Then I remembered I don't really care, so I just let it take this entire section of my living room. I got some wood and some 12mm thick plywood and went to work. Ended up looking this way. The next corner, had to be dedicated to digital creation and every type of content editing. So if I was going to be sitting here in front of the camera, then I had to make it look good, like really good. For this area, I needed these guys to hold a shelf and made this cool white table. Was trying to make this section too good to ignore. The only problem was, I was never satisfied with the way it looked. Was it the lighting or the lack thereof? Was it the decoration? Does that bear look sus? A typical case of overthinking before I even had an idea for my very first video. And if you have watched any of my videos, you know that this was a complete waste of my time, because after setting up this space, I ended up filming myself only once, which means that all of the work that was put into getting this place ready was just taken away from my precious time that could have been used making actual content. Juggling work and the major changes to my Miniflat and making actual footages of me doing stuff, I was fast approaching burnout just from preparing alone. I mean, I was definitely learning a lot about the tools I will come to use a lot, but I was already this tired. Luckily, December came along and I took a step back to just breathe, spend beautiful moments with family and rainbow, and being surrounded by the smiles of those that truly mattered to me. Unsurprisingly, when I returned after the Christmas break, I was full of energy and determination to start focusing on what truly mattered for video 1. Now, this isn't me saying that your surrounding doesn't matter. It definitely does. But if you are just kicking off and you're working on a budget, I think it's safe to say you should be focusing more on value instead. Talking about value, this brings me neatly to the next step after my 2 main creative spaces were ready. Scripting. Scripting is probably one of the hardest parts, even with the help of tools like ChatGPT today. Scripting takes time. I like reading it multiple times and don't shy away from restarting if it doesn't sound right. The script for video 1 was vital because it was actually the only selling point of the entire video. It wasn't loaded with practicality like some of my future videos, so it had to tell a story. Luckily, I knew just the one to share without straying too far from what was supposed to be the channel's description once it was eventually created. After restarting the script many times, I finally had one good enough to work with. I don't condone overthinking because it is counterproductive, but if there's ever a step in your content creation journey where you should overthink, it's definitely at the level of scripting. It's kind of worth it. With a good enough script, it was time to record. This is where equipment comes in handy. Well, I recorded on my iPhone XR. While doing my research about filming on a budget, I came to the conclusion that lighting is what to focus on for a start. The iPhone XR camera, coupled with the right lighting, turned out some quite impressive footage, some of which seem to have come from an actual expensive professional camera post-editing. It was kind of wild. I learned quickly that you can get away with video quality with good lighting, but audio was always going to catch up to you, so I eventually got a better budget mic. But for video one, at the time, all I had was a V8 mic, which picked up a lot of background noises from all over the place. It was quite frustrating. This just meant that there was more pressure on the script to deliver because the equipment was already underperforming. I wasn't deterred though. I proceeded to record the voiceover. Luckily, the parts of the video with most of the making were pre-recorded months ago and just waiting to be used. For the awesome B-roll footages, I got them for free on the Pexel website. Check them out, link in the description. For the background noises, it got better after using Adobe Podcast Voice Enhancer, which could allow for adjustments in the free version at the time. I made this captivating intro and outro on Canva, and then the hardest part of it all, editing. So I hopped into CapCut and imported all the necessary resources. Video editing is time consuming. Juggling work and editing, this wasn't easy. I had edited long form content before, but it felt like that had no impact on my output speed for this particular video. I found myself editing 2 minutes of output for every 4 to 5 hours I dedicated to it after work. Probably because I was overthinking a lot of the scenes and was trying to use animations to compensate for potential flaws in engagement, either due to the script, the voiceover, or the footage on display. I probably replayed some scenes up to 10 times just to make certain changes. Anyways, by June 26, 2024, what I was calling video 1 when working on it was finally done. Then it hit me. I had no title and no thumbnail. It was the only video I made first before the thumbnail. Now I design my thumbnails once the script is good enough and I feel like I am fully aware of what I'm trying to share. For this video in particular, I just really put together a thumbnail which I will later go into change into this. I gave it a title which I think describes it best: The Gifter of the Year. My very first YouTube video. The reception was good. With comments like this and private messages like this one, it was quite reassuring. I'm in a lot of Reddit spaces for new YouTubers, and reception like this on your very first video is not typical. I was and still am truly grateful to you all. Thank you. Well, some people weren't so easily impressed. I had to try harder in the future videos to convince them that this channel wasn't all about my love life. They eventually came around. I think we take for granted what it means to make something and for someone else to take out their value time, watch it, enjoy it, and say something positive about it. Be mindful. It is with this in mind that I decided to take a step back, take a look at the journey to getting here, and say thank you. Your views, your likes, your comments are not just numbers to me. I truly appreciate. In 2 months, I have made a couple of videos on a range of topics around making and creatives. I think 2 months enough time to look at the analytics and see what most of you prefer watching, so I can keep bringing more of it. So yeah, don't overthink it before starting. And when you start, don't obsess over the analytics, but use it to be mindful by appreciating and giving those who have decided to tag along what they came for. I would attempt in my own little way to accomplish this in my future videos. Thank you all, and see you in the next one. Bye bye.
It's been your boy Clover, guys. Like and subscribe for more. See you all in the next one. Thank you.